Greetings from the Hawaii Community Church. My name is Alida Pallet, and I've been asked to bring you a brief devotion for this week. I want to read to you from John's Gospel, chapter 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. Through him all things were made. Without him nothing was made that has been made. In him was life, and that life was the light of men. The light shines in the darkness, but the darkness has not understood it. He was in the world, and though the world was made through him, the world did not recognize him. He came to that which was his own, but his own did not receive him. Yet to all who received him, to all who believed in his name, he gave the right to become children of God. Just 1 or 2 days and it's Christmas, depending on whether you celebrate on Christmas Eve or on Christmas Day. For many, if not for most of you, this will be a very different Christmas. Just like the rest of the year has been very different and something that we've never come across before. For some of you, this will not only be a very different Christmas, but also a very difficult one, as we are aware of so many in our congregation who have lost loved ones during the course of this year, and also because many of you are separated from your loved ones who would normally gather together. So how can we celebrate? To be honest, my every inclination was to skip it. Skip the decorations, skip the celebrations. But thankfully my husband Mike wouldn't hear of that. And I'm glad that we've decided to go ahead, even if this year we won't be entertaining the multitudes that we normally have. Why bother? Said the sad little voice in my heart and in my mind. Why bother? But then I've had to remind myself of some of the things that I have shared with you during the course of this year, especially of the fact that nothing has changed with God. All the changes that we've experienced this year have been in our circumstances, in our daily lives, in our work and school, and even in the way that we have church services. But God hasn't changed. Our salvation hasn't changed. What we celebrate and why we celebrate hasn't changed. This week we remember a remarkable, spectacular, and unique event. God became man. Omnipotent God became flesh and blood. As in the words of songwriter Graham Kendrick, the one who strode among the stars and called each one by name lies helpless in a mother's arms and must learn to walk again. God came to us. Jesus is called Emmanuel, God with us. Jesus exchanged his glory and his throne for a cattle shed, surrounded by bewildered shepherds, embarking on his saving mission to the world. He came to warn, to heal, to teach, but most of all, he came to die in our place. And in rising from his tomb, he conquered sin and death for all who believe him, for all who trust in his name. What if Jesus had said, why bother? Remember that he loved us while we were still sinners. What if he had said, why bother? But he didn't. He came to fulfill the Father's plan, and he persevered and submitted to his Father's will. Even when he could have chosen not to, he said, not my will, but yours be done. And so, yes, I will bother. I will celebrate. The lights on this tree speak of the light that came into the world. And as has been our tradition for a while, as part of the tree decorations, we have a nail that we have on a crimson cord that we attach to the tree to remind us of the reason why he came. The truth is unchanged. As the well-known carol says, "Joy to the world, the Lord has come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room, as heaven and nature sing." Yes, it will be different. Yes, it will be difficult. But why don't you, if you haven't already done so, make room in your home, but more importantly, make room in your heart. And not just for the baby Jesus, but for Jesus, the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. And may the blessing and presence of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit touch you deeply as you look beyond the trimmings of the usual Christmas and celebrate the greatest gift ever to mankind. Every blessing. Have a wonderful and wonder-filled week.